So we're going to jump in with a controversial question here, and one that I see a lot of clients and professionals have very strong views on both before and after the build. Should you install a lighting control system in a traditional house? So firstly, what is a lighting control system? Chances are that if you are above the age of 40, you did not grow up with a lighting control system. You grew up with, and what for this video we will call an analog or two-way lighting. That means there's a switch, it switches on your chandeliers or your wall lamps or sconces in American English on and off. If you want to have the light be softer, you can install dimmers. Everyone knows it, it's simple, it's uncomplicated, and it's how we have been controlling electric light effectively since it was invented. Lighting control, by contrast, is a semi-computerized system, and it is capable of a number of things depending on how you configure it. The main thing is that it will set all of your lights in the room to preset dimmed settings. And this could include your architectural lighting, your decorative lighting, i.e. your table lamps, your floor lamps, your cove lighting. These presets are going to be controlled from a dimming panel, which looks a little bit like a computer server. And each room is operated by a button-based switch in the wall that is going to have a number of settings, or what the industry calls scenes. The idea is that you can match your lighting to your mood or the current use of the room. So in a living room, you could go from medium light to low light if you're watching a film instead of socializing, or in a bedroom you could change from the low setting you might have right before bed to a bright setting if you are getting ready for a party and picking out your clothes. Now, because that switch panel is button or toggle based, it also means you can have switch panels with more controls for the same size. This is something that interior designers like a lot because you don't need large plastic 4-gang switches cluttering up the wall. Plus, it gives you the chance to electronically control your blinds and curtains, as well as 3 or 4 different lighting options, all from one panel. In addition to this, if you do put your whole house on a lighting control system, you can have an all-off switch by your bed. Or you can control it from your phone while you're on holiday, or set it so the lights come on while you're away to give the impression that you are still there to, say, deter burglaries. So why is this even a question? Surely this is just so superior to old-fashioned analog lighting. Well, there is a cost to everything, and most obviously there is that cost. You may be looking at an additional 6 figures for lighting control on a large house. If you do go really fancy and you have the very latest technology installed that can change the color of your LED lighting, you are looking at probably another 15% on top of that. It is not cheap. Will it make your house look amazing? Of course. But so would taking that money and spending it on interesting objects, art, oriental rugs, and those are all things that you can take with you if you move. The second drawback that I have repeatedly found as a guest is that you don't know what button does what. And it can be a bit of a nightmare because every time you switch scenes, there is a slight pause and you can find yourself pressing buttons, having no idea what they do. All of a sudden, the window blinds are opening, then you've switched off all of the lights in the room. It is not easy for guests, and I've never enjoyed using it as a guest. That is also something that overlaps with you as a homeowner. You need to want to engage with these systems and essentially learn how to drive them. If you don't, it can be a very expensive point of frustration. Then there is the switching system itself, which we can get into more depth in another video. But for me, a high quality analog switch is always preferable to a push button, even the very high-end ones. As an example, we have here some analog switches from Forbes and Lomax, and look, listen to that. It's like cycling a nice Mauser action rifle. There is a fidelity, a tactile quality that you just don't get with a push button. Also, because these switches are so elegant and so high quality, they really work more as a design feature rather than as an eyesore on the wall. So I think with an example like that, having a 4-gang switch really isn't an issue at all. Finally, and this may be the biggest question that you may want to bear in mind, is that you are building in obsolescence into your home. It is just like buying a computer. It has a shelf life and it will become dated, unlike an analog system. So my concluding thoughts: a lot of lighting designers will tell you that a home will never look as good as it can without a lighting control system. I think that is true. Without lighting control, you can never have the perfect level of attuned light each and every time. At the same time, however, when I go to, say, the Reform Club or Bucks in London or the Interrelais Club in Paris, all of which use traditional analog lighting, do you think I think to myself, what a great looking room, shame about the lighting? Of course not. If you have a couple of lighting options, for instance, chandeliers, wall lamps or sconces, and some floor and table lamps, which you can run off a 4-gang switch, you can really make a room that is in and of itself richly furnished look pretty amazing. So my controversial statement is simply to say you don't need a lighting control system. It has some amazing capabilities and some real advantages from an ease of use perspective, in particular being able to have a large room ready to go for dinner or for entertaining at the push of a button, but don't feel as if you have to have one. The key is to be thoughtful about these details, which is exactly what a truly bespoke home build should be. For me, it's about sitting down and truly understanding what the client is looking for, discussing the options, considering the pros and cons, so that the client is confident that he will have a solution that will work for him in 10, 15, 20 years' time.